G'day guys! Reddit user Joel Shoots recently posted a collection of highly polished utilities they made for the R36S, including a fully featured calculator and a full weather app, which as far as I know are the first of their kind for the R36S. Thankfully, none of these require any special runtimes or libraries, and only require a basic minimal Portmaster install, so they should work on all major R36S operating systems like ArcOS, ArcOS for clones, and vanilla DarkOS. We will be trying it on a fresh install of DarkOS RE today though, as usual, since that's what most people will be migrating to. We'll move over to our Windows 11 PC to download and copy these new apps over. Let's get into it. We're over on our Windows 11 PC now, and we've just opened up Google Chrome and gone to the Reddit post where they initially announced their collection of utilities. As always, I will link everything down in the description below. So this is where they talk a little bit about what they've made, and there's also some screenshots. But instead, we want to go down to the GitHub releases page, which they have linked in the original post. From here, we just want to scroll down a little bit, and all of the apps are contained inside their own zip files. Since I do want to show all of them off, we will download all 8. Just click on them once to download. So now I've downloaded them all. Before we close off Chrome, if we go back to the top and we go back to the main GitHub page itself, not the releases tab, and we scroll down a little bit, we can see they are working on a calendar, it seems, since it says calendar soon. So I am looking forward to that. But just above that, it has dedicated links for each of the apps. If we click on one of them, for example, calculator, it tells us a little bit about it, as well as all of the controls. Each of the apps has their own page just like this. You can tell Joel put a lot of effort not only into the apps themselves, but also the GitHub page, which is always appreciated. So now everything's finished downloading, we'll close off Chrome and open up our downloads folder. Inside we have all 8 zips. You could extract them all one by one, but to make it easier, we'll just highlight everything, so Control A, we'll right click on one of them. Since we are on Windows 11, we'll go down to Show More Options, 7-zip, and Extract here. Now we should have 8 launch scripts and 8 folders. We no longer need the zips, so I will delete them all. And next we'll just insert the SD card from our R36S into our PC. With it inserted, we want to copy all 8 scripts and all 8 folders. So pretty much everything in here, just Control A and Control C to copy. Go to the EasyROMs partition, go down to ports, and paste them all in here. You could also optionally paste them in the tools folder if you wanted to, since I guess you could class these as tools. If you weren't aware, you can run user scripts from both the tools folder and the ports folder. So with all of them copied over, we can safely eject our SD card and move back over to our R36S. So we're back on our R36S now. And since this is a completely fresh install of DarkOS RE, Portmaster is not installed by default. If we go to ports now and try to run one of these utilities, for example calculator, goes to a black screen, and then just crashes straight back to the ports menu. Thankfully, a minimal Portmaster install script is included by default in DarkOS RE, and you don't need internet to install it. So if we press start, go down to options, tools, and we just want to run install Portmaster. It shouldn't take too long to install, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and it's done. We'll go back to the ports menu and we'll try out our first utility. I think we'll start with calculator. So as mentioned earlier, all of the controls for these utilities are detailed over on the GitHub page, but we will go through all of the main ones. So your D-pad obviously navigates around. A is select, so for example 777. B is backspace, nice and intuitive. Y is equals, so if we went 1 plus 1, we could go down to equals, or we can just press Y. X copies the last answer, so it was 2, and now 2's in the input field. R1 and R2 move the floating point. So if we enter a big number, you can see it changes where the decimal is. L1 and L2 change the modes. So we're currently just on a basic calculator, nothing fancy. We'll press L1. We're now on a scientific calculator. Press it again. I guess you would call this a programmer's calculator. You have logical NOT, OR, and an XOR, or exclusive OR. And you've also got different bases. So you've got binary, oct, hex, and decimal. Press it again. I guess this is more of a scientific calculator as well. And pressing it once more takes us back to the standard calculator. One cool thing with a load of these utilities is they have included a bunch of different color palettes. Pressing start on most of them does toggle between different palettes. So this is the standard one. I'm not too sure what you would call this one. Maybe neon, pink, a bit of a dark theme with mostly orange, a green one. I think this is my personal favorite dark theme. And back to standard. Finally, if you press select, you do get the credit screen. That's pretty much all there is in this calculator app. You can quit out of everything by pressing start and select as usual. Next up, dice. So as the name suggests, this is a virtual dice. By default, it's a D20 or a 20-sided die. Pressing Y will roll the selected dice. So it's a 4, press it again, it's a 19. If we press A, we can add a different die, and you'll notice there's a little green dot. That just tells you which dice is currently selected. So if I press Y now, it'll roll that dice. If I go left, press it then, it rolls that one. You can press B to remove die, and you can press up and down to change the die itself. So it's a D20 by default, now it's a D100. Next is a coin toss. If we press Y, heads or tails, so it's tails, and then heads. A D4, a D6, which is just a standard dice, a D8, a D10, 12, and then back to 20. You can add a bunch of different die, so we'll do a D100, a D6, and maybe also a heads and tails or a coin. And if you press X, it rolls all dice. This could be great for tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons. Very, very cool app. Again, pressing start changes the color palette. There's only 3, but I do personally like the dark theme. And again, pressing select should show the credits. Really nice choice of font on this one too. Again, just a really well made, highly polished app. Next up, Metronome. This one's nice and simple. You press A to play the metronome, and B to pause. I will turn the volume up for this one. Pressing left and right changes the bar count, so how many clicks until you get a clock. Up and down changes the beats per minute. You can go all the way down to make it really slow. X and Y changes the sound. So currently sounds sort of like a wood block. Now it's more like bubble popping. A whistle. Maybe clicking. Maybe clapping this one. Sort of like a cowbell. Maybe a drum. High pitch. I am running out of descriptions for these. This one's a bit deeper. And then back to standard. Once again, pressing start does change the color palette. Dark green's nice. Orange is not too bad either. Blue's good. I do like this black cyberpunkish one. A grey, another black, a white one. Watch your eyes. And back to standard. And select should open the credits. And it does. This is obviously good for music, but people also use one for tick manipulation in games like RuneScape. Or at least old school RuneScape. Next up, to-do list. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. You can add tasks by pressing Y. You can enter text. We'll just put hi, I guess, and go done. We might add another task. We'll call it bye and done. And we can toggle if a task's been completed by pressing A. So hi's done, and now bye's done. We can also untoggle it, pressing the same button. We can press B to edit the currently selected task. So I could do hi 1 and go done. And if you don't want the task anymore, you can just highlight it and press X to delete it. Once again, pressing start does change the color palettes, and pressing select brings up the credits. Another really well made app. Next up, GP Tester or Gamepad Tester. This one is my personal favorite, and it reminds me of the old 80s and 90s scene demos you would usually find on the Commodore 64 or MS-DOS. So you would test all the buttons just by pressing them, but you can see it does change some things when pressing a button. So the D-pad sort of scrambles the text. If you wait a second, it does come back to normal. There we go. A, B, X, and Y do the same thing. The left joystick moves the background around, and the right one sort of speeds it up or slows it down. It also tests the function button, which is neat. And once again, pressing start does change the theme. So we've got red, green, blue, sort of psychedelic, another psychedelic one, another one, and then back to red. Select doesn't show the credits in this one, since it is written in the middle of the screen. Probably one of the best gamepad testers I've ever seen. Next up, habit. This one is sort of a routine maker. I also noticed there's a slight typo or an issue with the text. It says water, brackets cups, and instead of a closing brackets, it has a Unicode square. Not too sure what's going on there. Obviously not a massive problem. So this one you can use left and right to navigate the days. It looks like it does use the built-in clock for this one. So it's important you update the time and date in the main OS settings. Or if you connect to the internet on your R36S, it should automatically pull down the correct time and date. You will still have to change the time zone though. L and R switches between the habit, so exercise, water, and screen time. A lets you annotate a selected day. So for example, today we press it, that gets checked or unchecked. Do water, we've had a few waters. And screen time, we have had lots of screen time. X lets you edit the current one, so we can change the name of it. So if we don't want to use screen time, we could use, for example, outside activities or running. That is pretty cool. It is fully customizable. And Y creates a new habit. So we'll leave it all as blank or just one. That's fine. If we go down to save, we now have an extra one. I could see this coming in handy for uni students, but again, it is just a really well-made, highly polished app. Does start change the theme? It does not in this one, unfortunately. And select also does nothing, but the credits are at the bottom by default. Next up, we have tarot card readings. Now, I have never personally done a tarot reading, or tarot reading, so I'm not entirely sure what each card means, but there is a tarot wiki which has their interpretations, so I will link that down in the description below too, just in case you're not too sure what each card means. This apparently does contain all major arcana cards. So the left joystick moves the cursor around, although you don't really need to. Just pressing A will reveal the first card, pressing it again will reveal the second card, and pressing it once more will do the third card. I do like how they're slightly animated. The cards themselves aren't, but they are sort of hovering around on the screen. Just a nice little touch. According to the GitHub notes, pressing start should change the color palette, but unfortunately it doesn't. Does pressing select bring up the credits? It does. I'm sure this could be a little bit of fun for someone. Last up, weather. Now when we first open it, we do get an error message that isn't in English. But I do recognize the word internet, and this one obviously requires internet access. So I'll quickly connect to my Wi-Fi and we'll try it again. Perfect, we're connected. We'll quit out of the wireless manager and we'll try launching weather again. I believe this says loading, not too sure, and it still says no internet access. We might quit out once more. I'll double check I am connected to the internet. So options, network info. We are connected and it has used a little bit of data. We'll try weather once more. This was working fine in my initial test, so I'm not too sure why it's not working now. There we go, it does work now. Not too sure what happened before. It does know I'm in Sydney, and that's most likely pulled from my public IP. I'm not actually in Sydney, but that's just where the ISP is located. Unfortunately with this one, none of it's in English, which for me does make it a bit hard. The pictograms are pretty good though, obviously sunny, cloudy, maybe less cloud or light clouds. The date at the very bottom, not too sure what the bars mean. I'm guessing that's the temperature, maybe wind as well or rain, not entirely sure. I really hope this one does eventually get an English translation. It'll definitely be very, very handy to have on your R36S, especially if your device does have built-in Wi-Fi. Overall, these are all highly polished and extremely well-made utilities. They are all cleanly presented and do what they say on the box with no bloat, which is always appreciated. I believe they are still working on these, and I am personally looking forward to seeing an English version of the weather app, or maybe one that just uses pictograms to make it universal, although not too sure that would be possible for days of the week. If you have tried any of these out yourself, make sure to drop by their original Reddit thread and post any feedback you might have, or just say thanks. But I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.